Alrighty, everybody. Minister Bubba Derek here. I just want to do this real quick. It's 4:39. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's just go ahead and get this. Stop looking, listen. Please stop resisting. It's a new day. Let's try a new way. Jesus put an offer on the table, and everyone out there is now able to come home with God in your heart. You're never alone if you believe me. You don't need that weed. Give Jesus a hug and put down the rug. Remember, the devil's already won. So why are you picking up that gun? If this world is actually them fake, why do you need that alcoholic drink? Because the devil tells you. He fools you. But the minister is here to school you. I'm here to preach. I'm here to teach. And it's you. I'm trying to read through this song that I compose when Jesus comes back. Only God knows. Are you ready? Or are you set heaven? Are you ready? Or are you set heaven? You won't be if you follow me. Oh God, what can I say about me? You still love us sinners and you offer your grace for free. I'm not worthy, but you still search me out of a life of sin. And with Jesus' help, I know I can win. I love serving my Lord. He opens the door to a relationship with God. This is the only way in the name of Jesus. I always pray and I lay myself as a footstool for the lost demons. I know that it's not true to be a believer, but I'm not with my soul in the hands of the deceiver. My desires and aches and unconditional paradise. I think of no pain, no stress. You gave me the weight, and now I'm blessed. You can test me, let the devil trust me. But baby, hell is one place I don't want to see. So stop, look, and listen. Please stop resisting. It's a new day. Let's try a new way. Are you ready, or are you stay heavy? Stop, look, and listen. Please stop resisting. It's a new day. Let's try a new way. Minister Bubba Derek. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Peace, everyone. This is Minister Bubba Derek. I'm coming at y'all real. And that's what I do. It's really hard to be a Christian in 2020. Yes, it is. Everybody seems to have a double stamp on it. And we don't get no respect in the world. We are considered weak. We are considered soft. We are considered dumb for believing in the book. But yet, these people have no morals. And you see where the world is going to. We get no credit. So, this is for those who are haters, who are remain, who are thinking on the truth. Let's get it. Every day I dance before the Lord. So I stay connected to Jesus like an extension cord. I walk upon a stripe as long as my name is in the book of life. Let my light shine. Let it broadcast worldwide. I let Jesus be my guide. And if he lets me live another day, I'll continue to come to the people and say, stop being selfish, stop sinning, come to God, and start winning. I rule with the Lord who is in control. Heaven is my goal, this earth is a first level. I help my fellow man deal with the devil. He's a liar, he's a fraud, his desire is to keep me away from my God. The most people I come up is righteous, but I'm tempted, I might just do a few of the things that God can't stand his crown on. Every day I've been reborn, I've been hit with many opportunities. I cannot remain in unity with the Holy Father. Sometimes I wonder, is it like a father? I remain devout when it feels like I'm missing out. Most of the people that I meet who lie, steal and cheat, seem content, while Christians like me, I'm confident, struggling. It should be the other way around. I'm not complaining, but I can tell someone who's living it up to give it up when they're posting high. Doing right is a headache. There's got to be a better road to take. You know, a middle ground between Jesus and Satan. I know who to follow. See, I'm not debating for what I'm waiting for. Satan is winning the battle, but God is winning the war. Every day I dance before the Lord, so I stay connected to Jesus like an extension cord. I walk on the stripe as long as my name is in the book of life. my God, and if He lets me live another day, I'll continue to come to the people on the stage. Stop being selfish. Stop saying that. Come to God and start playing in. I roll with the Lord who is in control. It's the heaven is my goal. This earth is the first level. I help my fellow man deal with the devil. He's a liar, he's a fraud. His desire is to keep me away from my God. There's a struggle every day to stay on course. I'm behind the enemy line, so I use the word of God as my force, my resource. Becoming immune to the negativity that surrounds me. The devil has a bounty on my head. Sometimes I dread coming outdoors. I feel like I've been drafted before. But it's okay, the devil can play his mind game, but he can't hurt me where I am. That's spiritually. He tries to distract me physically, financially, but these things don't mean jack to me. I turn my back to thee. It's not easy. It's in, man. It just took me greedy. So I always want what we can't have. A material means nothing to me. Hey, don't make me laugh. A few endorphins, what's the difference? It's all show.
The both of these it will take me where I got to go.
But if I cheat or steal, now I lose my protection. For a house, for a election, will be under the direction of a sick demon. Gold is the home my soul, no thanks. I roll with the Lord who is in control. Every day I dance before the Lord, so I take it to be like an extension cord. I welcome all the strife as long as my name is in the book of life. Let my light shine.
Let it broadcast worldwide.
I let Jesus be my God, and if He let me live another day, I continue to come to the people and say, stop being selfish, stop sinning. Come to God and start winning. Minister Brother Derek. Let's get it. Welcome to the Minister Brother Derek Show. And I am Minister Brother Derek. I just want to say that I love Jesus. And that's the title of this song. I love you, Jesus. We'll follow you wherever you lead us.
I love Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. Don't let the devil deceive us.
I love you, Jesus.
Can't get enough.
Hey.
I love my Jesus. Well, people say to keep it real. But here's the deal. If you're not saved, you're missing out. If you're not born again, your future is in doubt. Your body wasn't made to last.
I love you, Jesus.
It will be reduced to ash. Your flesh will rot, but your light will not.
I love you,
your soul will go on
Jesus.
forever. So you better realize that you need God. You will be
I
surrounded
love you,
by the pain
Jesus.
of a flame that never goes out. The pits of hell where they
I
keep
love
you
you,
up. There's no relief.
Jesus.
Not for a moment of peace. But agony and pride never cease. And someone in the background singing, burn, baby, burn. This isn't normal. Burn, baby, burn. I'm walking in inferno. But seriously, though, this will happen. If Jesus come back and finds you napping. See, no one knows the time of day. But if you follow the word, it won't matter anyway. Because in heaven, no one will ever be sick or shed a tear. So in this realm, I show no fear. What you gonna do? Kill me? Make me a martyr? Give me a head start? Put me on the fast track?
I love
So
you,
keep packing.
Jesus.
Keep stacking. Keep on shacking up. But get caught napping
I
and
love
chickens
you,
up.
Jesus.
And I just want to say, I love you, Jesus. Follow you wherever you lead us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. Don't let that devil deceive us.
I love you, Jesus.
If you think that witnessing to your neighbors is weird, pick a foreign country with statues of Irish unfair. Nations of people who don't know God, only mythical characters like the Alabama.
I love you, Jesus.
Most Americans believe in one Lord, one superior being. Christians should be born of souls by the million. But we spend our time fulfilling the desires of our flesh. We won't give Jesus our best effort, but we ask for blessings that we don't deserve. And you wonder why our prayers are not heard. In church, you put down those you really admire. You know you have a desire to make that easy money, drive the fancy car, you feel like a star. When you enter the bars and clubs, deep down your spirit isn't for God or His ways. So why should anybody listen to a darn thing you say? I love you, Jesus. Follow you wherever you lead us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. Don't let the devil deceive us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. We'll follow you wherever you lead us.
I love you, Jesus.
Let the Holy Spirit lead us. And one more time. I love you, Jesus. All right, y'all, let's get it. Let's get to the Bible study. The minister, Brother Derek Show. Let's get it.
All righty. Well, I made that for the Bible study. One day I'll go back and redo these songs. But I put them in 8D. And I must say, I like it. Shout out to Chung Lee for the new animations. While we're giving shout outs, you know, Nia gave us the life-changing idea to look at the book of Job. Liz and NNC gave us a couple of enlightenment topics to do a show on. Today's topic comes from Chung Lee. It is on fruits. You know, as I'm sitting here, you know, with my fruit, the snack on for today's show. Hey, Liz. It was an excellent topic because as I went and looked, I realized this is as I'm bringing you through the steps. As I'm bringing you through the steps on how to get a relationship with Jesus so you can get a relationship with God. This is someplace that you want to be. You know you're on the road. We're going to look at John 15 today. And Jesus is going to talk about bearing fruit. People hear that phrase and they think they know what it is. But it's more to it than you think. It really is more to it than you think. What does it mean to bear fruit? How does your career as a Christian, how is it leveled off? How does Jesus and God know how good a Christian you are? One of the telltale signs is behavior. Another telltale sign is, are you bearing fruit? You notice I said the word behavior first because your behavior says more than anything you can say out your mouth. Your behavior is what other people see. And see, Jesus and God knows that if people see through your behavior that you are a Christian and that you are walking with them, they hope that it will make other people say, well, I want to do the same. A lot of people think that they can just use words. But the fact of the matter is, people watch your behavior. Your behavior is a good indicator, a good measurement of what kind of fruit you're going to produce. Some people produce no fruit. Some people produce some fruit. Some people produce a lot of fruit. We're going to look at Jesus and we're going to decipher as he explains what birds of good fruit are and what indicators to look for. So we're going to John 15, but we'll put it on the screen so everybody can follow along. So we're going to need this one. Well, I'll go ahead and show that. At the same time, let me know if we have any hiccups. Because y'all know that we are using, we used the Samsung yesterday. Not to get off topic here, but we multitasking. It takes a lot longer to bring that information over. But I found this today. It's called Gear 360 Action Director. And we are actually taking not what a bike's sitting at the market, but just me riding. And we're taking that and we are transcoding it. Wait a minute, is it done? No, 62%. Let me so after the sermon, we'll take a look. Let me show y'all what I mean real quick. I don't want to hold the sermon up, but hold on a second. Just so y'all in the know. For those of y'all who enjoy seeing the footage. It took me most of the day to figure out how to use this, but you see it's at 63%. Can y'all see that on y'all screen? Can y'all see that? It's at 63%. So hopefully by the time we get done, it'll be ready. Right now it's at 64%. So let that keep doing what it's doing. And hopefully it won't interrupt the show because it's drawing a lot of power. So I hope the PC can handle the live stream and that at the same time. We're trying to multitask here. Just trying to get things done here. But as y'all can see, this is the app that I was just showing you. It's by Cyberlink, Gear 360 Action Director. But we can back out of that and just go back to the beginning of Bravo. All right. Now let's go in. Uh-oh. It did it again. It did it again. It did it again. I don't even know what these are. Hold on a sec. Wait a minute. No. Go back. That's from last week. Hold on a sec. Why is last week bookmark showing up? Oh, I gotta do what I did last week. All right, y'all. I have to run in there to the other PC. Give me one. Let me play a song for y'all. I have to run in there to the other PC. I didn't stop there, right? No, they both still here. I'm going to have to go transfer the bookmarks to Liz's Hangout. Hold on one sec. We don't want to play that song though. Then, yo, this Bro Darren with a one-man show. Let me do another one. There we go. Bro Darren with a one-man show. I seen the light thing. I'm determined to do it right. This one's from the heart. If you can't deal with it, you still have. Right back, y'all. I got one question for you.
Are you born again? You never know when Jesus will descend on the white cloud. If you're saved, say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. Amen. Hey, are you born again? Are you ready for the Messiah to descend with the book of life? Are you on the page Jesus gave you by faith, not so by action? Will you meet the text not by action religion? Not what virtue was done out of habit. God is humbling you a branch thing out. Give you a second chance. That's why Jesus died. Was crucified. Everybody around the cross. I said to the world, come up with the God again and can receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. Ignore the desires of your flesh. You can hear it. You can feel it. Don't be foolish unless they can steal it. You can't do anything that God can't fix and God can't heal. Don't turn your back on this one lifetime deal. It's this man's thing to the sin. But God will forgive if you're born again. Amen. Amen. Are you born again? You don't know what you do for the sin on the white cloud if you say, oh, you say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. Are you? I'm born again. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Here we go. Are you born again? Or are you a slave to sin? Because I don't want to change your ways. If you're on the same way, you want to submit. When you know you ain't respect one another. You why? You know, I get this all about us because you think God is not listening. I wear you get dirt. You think come to church. What do you think you're playing this song? Acting good and things, but I'm fool everywhere else. The devil tempts you. God understands. You believe he'll offer his hand and help you get the results you need more than what you want. Don't be deceived by taking talk. He's a liar. He will fill your desires, lead you to the lake of fire, both in hell. The devil is the Lord of this world. So I say to every boy and girl, let's get close to God. Pray every day and that Jesus help you change your ways. See, I believe, amen. That's how I know I'm born again. And I'm asking you, are you born again? You never know when Jesus was to sin on the right cloud. You say it loud, I'm proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. Come on. Oh man, can never start to determine what we can try to attain or maintain a certain level of right and wrong balance. The devil counts every day to lead us the wrong way. God knows this, so I love you, send his own son. So lean on Jesus. On this list that he will help you give a hand. I'm going to face the devil to go God's wrath. Remember, Job, it is worth to be close to him. No, it's to take from gold. Not because of the deeds, but because Job believed was willing to be tested. He felt comfort even under the brutal pressure. Still about God's love and protection. I'm just a message to him. I'm what be saved or die. It's your choice. You want to be a sinner or you want to be a winner? I'm asking you a question. Are you born again? Do you know what Jesus wants to sin on the white cloud if you say it? You say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. What? I'm born again. You want to be a sinner or a winner? I'm asking the question. Are you born again? You never know when Jesus was to sin on the white cloud if you say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. But God, but Jesus, can't forget the Holy Spirit. Come on. Listen, I bless you. You can come on home and sit in God's throne. Or you can rock hell with the devil. It's up to you. I can't make that decision for you. God loves you so much, he won't make that decision for you. But you got a choice. And what you do is up to you. All I can do is worry about my soul, my children, my family. Try to get them on the right path. You need to get on the right path. It's faith, not by works. You're judged by faith, not by works. Believe in Jesus. Try to live like him. You'll be all right. All right, go there, bro. One man show production.
Oh, yeah. Rodero, the one man show. I'm back up another track. But not true. Can you feel that? I said, can you feel that? Oh, yeah. Nice to know. Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love, because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want the silver wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. I let myself back into a life of sin. Can you forgive me again? I'm on the flesh, but deep down I have a zest. I keep failing the devil. Does this mean I'm not ready? My heart is heavy. I'm stuck in a state of confusion. I'm doing wrong. It's like a nightmare, but it's no illusion. My God, what's the solution? Is the pleasure of this world enough to make my faith unfurl and pass? I try to stay on the right path, but it never lasts.
I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. I feel like a marked man. I know you understand that this agony is part of your plan. Or am I just weak? How let the devil sneak inside and deprive my spirit? Jesus said he would never leave us. So why is he being quiet while I died and snatched and unclean acts? Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want to feel the rest of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. I'm making my plea. Jesus, can you help me? I'm not perfect on the outside. I seem righteous, but inside I'm fighting the battle of my life. I need someone to focus on, a child, a wife. I got too much time on my hands. It's all about me. I'm free to do what I want, whatever I feel, with no repercussions. I get bored. My flesh and face start struggling. I get lonely. The followers at the church don't help. I'm around 100 people, but I'm still by myself. So it's easy to lower myself. I've been in the company of someone who threatened my spiritual health. But Lord, you took my great grandma, my mother, bless their souls, and left me with no guidance in this cold, cruel world. The worst of all, you snatched my baby girl just when I was starting to appreciate fatherhood. And you won't send anybody good who I can marry, who can carry a child for me. I refuse to be a single missionary in another country, alone in a nation I don't know. But deep down I feel that's where you want me to go. Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. I don't understand my purpose. Can you unlike me and bring to the surface what you have in store for me? I wonder, are you ignoring me or is it the other way around? I know I'm stubborn, but your word says that a believer will from within change. And then that person won't want to sin while I'm really willing and able, waiting for you to the table of myself and lusting in you I trust. So do what you must. I give you full control of my soul. Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. Another hit from Bodero, one man show. He feels that. Hope this touches you in some way. I'm out. All right, praise God. No, yeah, that's me. All right, I'm back.
Now, welcome to the Sunday sermon, everyone. This is. Hey, man, go back.
Oh, yeah.
I missed the best part of the song.
Bodero, the one man show. Said that a believer will from within change, and then that person won't want to sin while I'm really willing and able, waiting for you to the table of myself and lusting in you I trust. So do what you must. I give you full control of my soul. Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. Another hit from Bodero.
All right, I like that part. I'm sorry, y'all. I realize now I have to do this on this computer. Even though it's the same account, the bookmarks don't come over to this computer, even though they're on the same account. I don't know how that works. But for some reason, for the sermons, they won't come over to this computer. We had to do this last week.
We literally had to do this last week, and I had to send the links to Liz's Hangout. I could have sent it to Chung Lee's. Didn't make a difference. You either one could send it to Snazzy's. But in order to get it, and now we have to go into the Hangout and go to Liz and find them. Copy link address. Now, let's come back. This is a pretty good topic. And paste and go. And there we are. John 15. Let's look at John 15 because this is from Jesus' lips. Jesus says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. Hold on. Jesus says that he is the true vine and his Father is the gardener. I want y'all to keep this in mind because Jesus is using a parable of somebody who is in charge of the field. The field being us people. Jesus says that he is the vine and his Father is the gardener. So that means that God is in charge of maintaining the health, the prosperity of everything that comes off the branches. Because you have a vine and then you have branches that come off the vine. Jesus continues, God cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. I want y'all to stop right here. There's a reason why I got this on the screen. I need y'all to understand. Jesus is the vine and God is the gardener. God goes in and maintains the people who claim to be followers of Christ. God will come and maintain you. He will come fix you up. He will come nurture you. But notice he says he cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit. If you call yourself a child of Christ, there should be evidence of you bearing fruit. What does bearing fruit mean? Well, go back to what I said earlier. When other people see you, do they see you as someone who imitates Jesus? Or do they see you as someone who imitates the devil? Do you display demonic behavior or do you display Jesus-like behavior? Bears no fruit means, what are you transferring of yourself to would-be potential followers? Are the people going to see you and want to be like you? Or are they going to see you and turn the other way? Producing fruit means to bring new followers to Jesus. Are you bringing new followers to Jesus? Are you bringing new people into the realm, the kingdom of God? Or are you turning them off? While you going around, hallelujah, glory, and all that, then them people think you're a fanatic and keep right on walking. You end up being fruitful. So he cuts off every so-called Christian who say they Christian, but their behavior says otherwise, and they don't make anybody want to learn, want to study, want to pick up the Bible. They don't make them want to do anything. They make them say, I ain't going to be one of them daggone fanatics. They get cut off. That's why a lot of people will say, Lord, Lord. And he's going to say, get in that furnace. So everybody who doesn't produce, God will cut off. Even if they claim they know Jesus. even if they claim they walking with him. But every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes. This is where we need to go. There's a lot of people that actually are not being let in because they're not willing to let God prune certain things in their life. They fight God. They literally fight God or will ignore God because they like something even more. And when it says he prunes, to prune is to cut out anything that keeps the crops from coming in good, whether it be a worm, whether it be insects, bacteria, anything that keeps the crop from producing good fruit. Once you bring Jesus into your life, God will come in and he will start cutting out the bad things so that you produce good fruit. Whether it be a person that's not being positive in your life, whether it be a job you're doing. I suddenly lost my job. What are you doing, God? Hey. Whether it be friends who hold you back. Anything that seems to take your attention away from spreading the message about Jesus and God and about bringing more people to them. Anything else that's unhealthy or gets in the way of that is going to be pruned out. Him doing that can make you turn off. Him doing that can make you go another way. If you drop everything and you spending all your attention, you just got a new car, and it take all your money and all your time, and all you doing is going around riding. Hey, look at me in my new car. Hey. It's okay to have a new car, but having that new car should not stop you from bearing fruit. And then one day you look up and it's repossessed, and you want to blame God. God allowed it to be repossessed. You wasn't bearing no fruit. Watch as you get to enjoy the benefits. You say, I'm going to get this new job. It's in public relations, and I'm going to do for the community. And then you get in there, and then you find out the job ain't got nothing to do with helping the community. It's helping you put money in your pockets, and you help them put money in fat cats' pockets. You ain't doing nothing for the people. You wondering, hey, I'm with you, Jesus. How come the job not going well? Because God's pruning it out. The branches that don't bear no fruit, God gets rid of, ignores. Those that do bear fruit, he starts to prune them so that they can make even more fruit. He gets things out of their lives that they don't need. A lot of times we have things in our lives that we don't need, but we so used to having them there that we actually resist getting rid of it, to the point that we will separate ourselves from God after going through all that work to get to him. Jesus continues, you are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine, neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. Listen to this again. Jesus said, you are already clean because of the word I've spoken to you. But to remain clean, and this is where a lot of people fall off the boat, you have to remain clean. Meaning you can win the championship, but you got to defend it. To stay clean, you must remain with Jesus. And Jesus is saying, without me, you ain't nothing. You can't do nothing without me. If you don't have Jesus in your corner, you can't do anything. So until you have Jesus in your corner, until you under his direction, you cannot bear good fruit. No human being can do it by himself. You must remain connected to Jesus. You can't bear fruit unless you remain with Jesus Christ. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. If you ain't walking with Jesus, you're doing nothing. You're wasting your time. It's not going to have a lasting effect. Jesus continues, I am the vine. You are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. And once again, apart from Jesus, you can't do nothing. I am the vine, you are the branches. There are some people that go to church on Sunday, they hear the word and they full of the spirit and I'm gonna love Jesus, I'm gonna get to know him and everything. Soon as they get home, they turn the TV on and start watching Hulu and forget all about him. Somebody come knock on the door, they put the Bible down and go run traipse off somewhere. You have to stay with Jesus on your mind. You have to put what you think he would say about any situation you might have. I'm notorious for this. When I'm out there riding the bike, y'all say that I ride too fast. Y'all say I'm not careful. I am careful. Sometimes my alter ego comes out. You'll see tonight. I get angry at myself. Because I know that's not me. But we had an incident last night where somebody pulled out in front of us and then stopped. And we flying down the road at 33 miles per hour. And they ruined the speed test. I was upset that the speed test got ruined, but at the same time, I was grateful that they came out in time because they could have came out while I was going by them. There wouldn't have been no time to do anything. At least we had time to see it. But my alter ego came out. And I haven't seen the clip, but I'm sure I said something. And we'll see. But that's not me. That's not the behavior that I want to show the world. Nobody should want to follow somebody like that. I'm embarrassed. But the recovery is what's important. Do you recover? Do you say, oops, I slipped up, I came out of character, let me get back to character? Or do you stay in that character? If there's one thing that I would like God to prune from me, it would be that lapse in character. But I'm smart enough to realize that change in character has saved my life many occasions. So the fact that I still have it lets me know that there's a place for it. And the fact that I'm embarrassed, ashamed, and repentant of it when it does come out shows that I'm still connected. Because sometimes it's real easy to get caught up in that and keep portraying it. But those of you that know me know that that's not me. But Jesus says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can't do nothing. And Jesus is telling you, you can't produce anything positive without him. If anyone does not remain in me, he is like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. If anyone does not remain in me, he is like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. Once again, Jesus is telling you what's going to happen to you. You're going to be thrown into the fire and burned. This is out of his lips. You can go to your pastor and say, hey, look at this. John 15:6. And if he tells you, don't worry about that, you know you need a new pastor. Because this is from Jesus' lips. He continues, if you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be given to you. This is to my Father's glory that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. How do you show yourself to be Jesus' disciple? By bearing fruit. Jesus continues, as my Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. Listen to that real quick. As my Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Now remain in my love. If you obey my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have obeyed my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has none than this, that someone should lay his life down for his friends, which is what Jesus Christ did. He gave up his life on the cross for us, his friends. And he said, you are my friends if you do what I command. Are you doing this? Are you bearing good fruit? Do people see you and want to emulate you? Do people see you and want a relationship with Jesus Christ? You know, the one thing I value is not being a burden to anyone. The one thing I value is not being an invalid. Last month, that was temporarily taken from me. I was face down on the floor in the market. My greatest fear is to be immobile. Yet I calmly stared it down. I don't know how many shots the devil has left, but that was a big one. I don't like that feeling. A feeling of where you feel helpless, where all you want to do is just lay down. You don't want to get up. Everybody has a feeling that they don't like. But that shot was called. And I think he was banking on that I wouldn't go to the hospital, that I would just lay there until I can get back up and maybe die on the way home. I really believe that that was the goal. But I listened to the people in the chat and I called 911. And I got the help that I needed. It made me feel weak. Made me feel unworthy, that I needed to be helped. But this is what I mean when I say you have to let go. Sometimes you have to let go. We always want to resist. No, I got this. No, I could do it on my own. Sometimes you have to let other people step in and help you. This is what keeps so many people from walking with Jesus and God. You have to let go. There's an old song, let go and let God. And you find yourself praying for something, but you're not willing to do the one thing you need to do, and that's let go. You still want to hang on to everything that you want to do. But God wants you to do something else. He can see down the road. He can see what you can't see right now. But you can only see what you want right now. You can't see down the road. You can't see something better. You can only see what you got right now. And a lot of times we hang on to stuff that we don't need, stuff that's bad for us, because we're comfortable with it, because we're used to it, because it's all we've been taught. In order to stay in Jesus and for him to stay in you, you got to let these things go. You can't keep holding on to them. Some of you like to gamble. Some of you like to hit the clubs and have one night stands. You do these things because it's what you want to do. It's not about you anymore. If you want to walk with Jesus and God, it's got to be about them. And what do they want you to do? They want to come in and clean you up. They want to get rid of all that evil that's in you. They want you to be an example so that people will see you and you can go and teach them and they can get the same thing that you're getting. But you got to stop fighting it. You got to stop trying to put it on your own terms. You got to stop. There ain't nothing nobody can do to you unless you let them. Somebody can talk about you, make fun of you. So what? The fact that they wasting their time doing that instead of them getting to know Jesus and God, why do you care what they think? Why do you worry? Well, I got a pimple on my face, so I can't go to school. The other kids is gonna make fun of me. The teacher of that class wants you to learn whatever they're teaching you. They don't care if you got a pimple on your face. I know, but I'm trying to talk to Julie, and she's not going to talk to me. If I got this big pimple on my forehead, she's not going to give me no time. Maybe Julie's not worth the time. If Julie won't talk to you because you got a pimple on your face, maybe she's not worthy of you. Well, if I had the right clothes on, everybody else is wearing Timberlands, and these are man-made reasons not to do what you're supposed to do because you worried about what somebody else say or what somebody else do. If you worrying about what some human being says, the devil's won. Because you care about more with a human being who can't help you not go into that furnace of fire. You care more about what somebody who can't do a darn thing for you. You care about more what they say than what God and Jesus does. What kind of fruit can you bear? What kind of Christians can you make? Who can you convert? Why should anybody follow you? You're not confident in yourself. You worried about a pimple. You worried about your weave don't look right. You worried about your fingernails. You worried about a hole in your stocking. You worried about these small things that don't mean nothing. What's the content of your character? What image do you project? Y'all see me go out all the time. A lot of the times I'm surrounded by people that got money in their pocket. Sometimes they don't, but the majority of people have money in their pocket. And they give me a look when they first see me. But after they talk to me, they don't have that same look because they see it's something different. He has a sparkle in his eye. He has a light in his face. They forget about what clothes I'm wearing. They forget about how funny my teeth look. They forget that I'm short. They forget that I'm fat. My personality hits them upside their head when they see the confidence that I have, when they see the power. A lot of people don't believe I have a pacemaker. A lot of times people forget how fragile my health really is because I don't project weakness. What image do you project when you show yourself to the world? Do you show power or do you show weakness? Do you have that light? Because I see a lot of people that don't have no light in their eyes. I see people, when you look them in the eye, they look down. They look away. Because they know that they're looking at somebody. It's something different. And that's why we ride through the hood with no fear. Do you have that? Do people come up and talk to you out the blue? Do people see you coming and go the other way? Can you strike up a conversation with anybody wherever you go? Those of you that follow me, you know everybody who I have a problem with, and it ain't many, but when I do, you know it's people that don't have Jesus and God in their life. And I irk them. And they feel that they must try to put me down or show dominance. Even the security guard that had a gun on his hip, I looked him right dead in his face. He went and got on the phone. You got a gun on your hip. Why the hell would you run? And was hollering stuff up to a subordinate. It's power. You got Jesus and God in you. You have power. And demons run. They don't know what to do with you. They don't have no answer for you. They can't deal with you verbally. They can't deal with you physically. Unless God says that they can do it. You walking and you got Jesus and God in you. You should be scared of nothing. If you are afraid, you're not walking. I'm not saying go out there and do something stupid, but I'm saying to you, you shouldn't be in fear. When you walk down your block and you see the drug dealers on the corner, look at them in the eye. I ain't saying go mess with them, but just look at them. Let them know you ain't scared. Chung Lee says she's here listening. Jesus says, if you obey my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I've obeyed my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that your joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Joy. Jesus used the word joy. I use the word stable. Y'all have heard me use that word a lot. Stable. Are you stable right now? I honestly don't know. We went to the market. I found out that we only had $60 left on the stipend card, and we spent $28 something. Those of y'all that went, I got $30 the last to the third with to eat with. I don't know. Maybe somebody could donate. Don't know. But I'm not thinking about it because I'm stable. The bills is paid. I just got my BG&E bill today, and it's the same thing it was last month. And I know that I've done better management this month, but I can handle it. But still, it should have been lower. But it's not more than what I can handle, so I'm stable. I was in the 350s, 360s on my sugar for diabetes. Staying in the 300s makes you vulnerable to losing your vision or losing your feet or losing your whole leg. We averaging between 150 and 200, which is taking me out of losing the vision and being blind, which means I'll have to be helped, which is what I don't want. Of losing my foot or losing a leg, which means that I'll have to be helped, which I don't want. We have stabilized. We want to get to 150 and stay there. But the fact that we're going between 150 and 200 rather than being at 350, we are not in the zone for that to happen. I've stabilized that threat. Do y'all understand what the word stable means? Stable means that you are right no matter what. That's what you should want. If you can have a little bit more, that's great. But you want to be stable. Because the people that's unstable, they need to get help all the time from people that are stable. If you're a gambler and you go to Las Vegas and you lose, you have to call somebody stable and say, hey, I need a plane ticket to come home. If you out there selling drugs and you're making all this money and you're stable, when you get locked up, you need somebody to come bail you out. You need somebody to get you a lawyer. You need somebody to come visit you. You need somebody. Do y'all understand? Stable people are the best people on earth. If Brian Laundrie had have called Gabby's stable parents and said, I can't handle her. Something might happen. I need you to come get her. Can one of y'all come ride with us so we can finish the trip? We need somebody stable. I need somebody who I can pass her off to so I can go get myself together because she's taking me to the breaking point. If he had done that, they would both still be alive today. But instead, he went and thought, I could do it. I don't need to ask for no help. And you see the result. Stable people keep the world going. Who would the thieves steal from if there wasn't nobody stable for them to steal and get the money from in the beginning? Who would they steal from? It ain't the rich, because the rich got security and alarms and walls high and they can't get to them. They get it from the stable people. The people that's got enough and might have a little bit of savings, but they ain't got enough to get all that security. That's who they steal from. That's who they carjack. That's who they do the home invasions on. Them, the people that's stable. Chances are when you get in trouble, it's somebody stable that's going to help you out. It is a blessing to be stable. It might be a curse to be rich, but it's a blessing to be stable. And when people see you stable, they want to be stable too. I came across many a person who I thought was in a better position than I am. They told me, I wish I could be more like you. What? Because they don't know, unless they watch the show, that I don't get enough to get through the month with. They don't know. But they see me every day coming out full of life, full of energy. They want that. To get that, they got to get Jesus in them. And some people are not, or actually most people are not willing to give up the things that they've been told since they were children were important. They're not willing to give it up. Let them money. It's a lot of people. They may have to get rid of a mate. They might have to ignore their family. They might have to switch jobs. They might have to get a cheaper car. They might have to live in a cheaper area. They don't want to make the sacrifices. Life is about sacrifice. I haven't had my double dog ding dongs in months. It's been a month and a half since I had my gummies. Y'all know how much I like my Lifesaver gummies. I haven't had chocolate in so long, I forgot what it tastes like. I haven't had cereal in months. I had to make the sacrifice. We went to the market yesterday and they didn't even have my veggies. I couldn't even get my garden medley veggies. They didn't have any. We'll try again when we go next time. So instead we got salad. So we got salad for a side order. I know why my sugar level was 200 today. I thought I had sugar-free Italian dressing. It's regular. I thought it was sugar-free. It said lower sugar. I misread the bottle. That's why I'm not worried. That was an error on my part. I can't get mad. I did it. I should have read the bottle more carefully. It looked just like the bottle that said light, but it wasn't. I just found something else out too. This is not sugar-free. I thought it was, but it's not. So it's lower sugar. It's not sugar-free. Now, I went back and picked that up because we didn't have a grape. And at the other market, that's where it was, in the same spot. But at this market, they had some regulars mixed in. So that's why my sugar was 200. But it's lower sugar. It won't kill me. The Italian dressing, it being lower sugar but not sugar free, it won't kill me. But that's why I've got a 200 today. Won't kill me. It'll come down. Not going to let small missteps make me just give up. Not going to let small missteps make me give up. Turn me away. We doing this sermon and my contacts are fogging up. And it's hard to read. I don't know why. My vision keep coming in and out. Now it could be the raisin sugar from the two items, because before I came on, I had a bowl of salad. We're not gonna make that mistake again. But that's what it was. It was a mistake. Well, I made the mistake. Might as well just get it from now on. No, you don't do that. You stay stable. As long as you stay stable, can't nothing be done to you. Jesus says, I've told you this so my joy may be in you and your joy may be complete. Because see, when you're stable, you make Jesus happy. Because now that you're stable, now he can go to work so that you can produce fruit and be a blessing to people rather than being a stopping block or a hindrance to people. Now he can go to work because he can show you his love, and then you can show that love to other people. But if you don't have his love, how can you show it to other people and make them want to come get that same love if you don't have it? Jesus says, you are my friends if you do what I command. Jesus says he no longer calls you servants because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything I've learned from my Father, I've made known to you. So even though Jesus created us out of dust by hand, he says, I no longer call you servant. And he's correct, because a servant does not know his master's business. A servant just told what to do. He don't have no say or what's going on. So even though Jesus and God created us and are over us, they don't see us as a servant. So why do people take this knowledge and say, well, then I can do what I want to do then? I can go ahead and do this and do that. I can break all the commandments and they'll understand. No, see, if you didn't know, you might could claim ignorance. The same way I didn't know that this was not sugar-free. But if I go back next time and buy the same thing, then I know and I'm guilty. So if you find out what Jesus wants you to do and you refuse to do it, you're guilty. So you can't say, well, he'll understand. No, you're guilty. Behavior is what shows. If I go back and get that same thing again, you know I'm full of crap. It's not a mistake. I can go show you every other bottle that we bought, and they all say no sugar. But if I come back, if y'all see me doing the show and I'm holding a bottle and it don't say no sugar on it, you should call me out. Jesus says he did not choose you, but he chose you and appointed you to go and bear fruit that will last. Then the Father will give you whatever you ask in my name. Jesus said, we didn't choose him, but he chose and appointed us to go and bear fruit that will last. Then the Father will give you whatever you ask in my name. This is my command. Love each other. Jesus says, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If the world hates you, keep in mind that the world hated Jesus first. Remember, it was the people that wanted Jesus to be crucified. It was the people that demanded. Yes, the clergy egged them on, but the people were angry at Jesus. The clergy taught the people that Jesus was coming to help them get Judah and Jerusalem back. Jesus came back and talking about going into that they talk about today. We ready to fight. Let's go. We don't want to be friends and do what the Romans say. Put on them. We want to kick their butt. So the people were angry. The miracles was great, but they were ready to fight. They don't want to hear nothing but no, I healed the blind man. Do that after we get back what we lost. So they had no problem with Jesus being killed. They were chanting, get down now. You're the son of God, do something. Wait, look at you sitting up there. What are you going to do now? What are you going to heal from up there? See, the world hated Jesus. And that's why they killed him. He allowed them to kill him. God was banking on it. Because when somebody does come in and try to do good, people try to get rid of them. If you have a good show that's helping people, you're going to get trolled. Guarantee you, you're going to get trolled. Don't nobody want to see nobody help nobody else. They don't want to see it. Jesus says, if you belong to this world, it will love you as its own. You've heard me say several times, sometimes I feel like I'm from a different planet. A lot of y'all don't catch that. A lot of y'all don't catch that. But what am I saying? I'm saying I don't feel like I belong to this world. I don't feel like I'm a part of this world. I feel separate, even though we're on the same planet. I look at a lot of people and I go, why are we together on the same planet? Like, what the hell? Your logic doesn't make any sense. Your choices are terrible. Like, how are we on the same planet? This is what Jesus is saying. If you belong to the world, it will love you as its own. I can give you an example. I guarantee you, if BET was to come to my block right now and have karaoke, and I decided to go out there, I would stand out from any other competitor that will walk up. The problem is the people wouldn't know how to react. Because, see, the lyrics would be good. They wouldn't know how to react because I'm not putting off the image. I don't have the yo boy image. And that's what they associate with it. So they be looking and scratching their heads like, I like what he say. I understand what he say. He makes sense, but that's not hip hop. So you understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying makes sense. It's a good message. But because I don't look like how you think I should look, you can't accept it. That's what it means not to be part of the world. Wouldn't be no difference if somebody came up there with glasses and the hair slicked back and had the part in the middle and had the button down shirt with the pins and the pocket protector and came out there and tried to rap. The image doesn't match what they think. So when you going out and you're not trying to get over on people, and you're not trying to cheat, and you're not trying to steal, and you're not trying to bully people, people don't know what to make of you. So they think you must be weak. And that's one problem that I have with the clergy. They tell you to be weak. I tell you to be strong. Don't be weak. Show people through your actions, just by your mere presence, that you're not weak. How do you do that? Let them see your glow. Let them see the fire in your eyes. Let them hear the passion in your voice. Let them see your confidence. I think the young kids call it swag. Where's the Christian swag at? Maybe I should write a song called The Christian Swag. Where's our swag? I'm a Christian and I'm proud of it. And you should be one too. Where's the swag at? Why is it that when the ignorant people come down, you get chumped down? Why is it that you trying to run away? Because I've seen it. People come in and try to bring that demonic presence. I stand right up. They go, well, why did you stand up? Let them know, hey, it ain't just demons here. Jesus got people here too. And we not weak. We strong. Another YouTuber likes to play that video with Ice Cube in it, talking about if you strong, go put in work. But if you soft, take your ASS to church. To me, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. But I understand what he means, because a lot of the times, the people in them churches just sit in that church and don't do nothing. They don't affect the community. They're not doing any fruit processing. And the youth today actually look down on them. They don't see them presenting anything to make them feel better about the future. I understand why the youth look down on the church. Yeah, you gonna go sit in the church and close the door and hide? While people getting stabbed, shot, and killed, and y'all sitting in there in the church singing songs. But if them people came out into the community and showed the power of Jesus Christ, showed the power of stability. If you're stable, you ain't got to take nothing. If you're stable, you ain't got to rip nobody off. Because you all right. And it's okay to be all right. Why are you not satisfied to be all right? Why can't you be seen as somebody other people want to replicate? It's not just clothes that make you. It's not a car that make you. The people that's impressed by that are people that need the help the most. So instead of feeding into that and trying to get them to accept you that way, why not try to feed them some knowledge that can actually save their spirit? Why not show them a lifestyle that'll let them live their days out instead of wondering if they're going to be dead before they're 30? Why they got to hurry up and have children and do everything before they're 25? Why is that acceptable? Who made that acceptable? If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. So keep that in mind. Jesus is telling you, if you're going to follow him, the world is going to hate you. No matter what you do, the world is not going to accept you as long as you're with him. But here's the point. And I say it again. Why are you worried about the world? Jesus Christ will decide who goes into that furnace of fire or who doesn't. Not the world, not anybody in the world. When he says the world, he means the common man, the person you live next door to, the person you get on the bus with. Common man. Why worry about what the common man wants? But there are people that's more concerned about what somebody will say to them. Jesus says, I have chosen you out of the world. That's why the world hates you. Remember the words I spoke to you. No servant is greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you also. If they obeyed my teaching, they will obey yours also. They will treat you this way because of my name, for they do not know the one who sent me. If I had not come and spoken to them, then they will be not guilty of sin. Now, however, they have no excuse for their sin. Back that up. Jesus is saying, if I had not come and spoke to you, you would not be guilty of sin. But now that he has come, there is no excuse for your sin. He who hates Jesus hates God as well. If Jesus had not done among them what no one else did, they would not be guilty of sin. But now they have seen these miracles, and yet they have hated both me and my Father. But to fulfill what is written in their law, they hated me without reason. When the counselor comes, whom I send to you from the Father, talking about the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth who goes out from the Father, he will testify about me. And you must also testify, for you have been with me from the beginning. So basically, you are, through your behavior, your demeanor, and through your words, you are to show people the errors of their ways and to get them to come to Jesus Christ. This is the job of every Christian. Stop worrying about a title. If you walk with Jesus, you are a disciple. If you are a disciple, you are a teacher. If you are a teacher, you are a minister. You are a priest. You are a reverend. You are an imam, whatever you want to call it. If you're not bearing fruit, you will be thrown into the lake of fire. If you are bearing fruit, God will come and prune the things in your life that keep you from producing fruit. Don't fight them on it. Don't resist. The fact that God is willing to take the time to come take these bad things out your life, say goodbye to them. See ya. Wouldn't want to be you. Instead, you fight to keep these things in your life. Well, I just broke down John 15. And now let's take a look and see what some other people have to say. Is what I said correct? Let's find out. Copy the link address. Bookmark these at random. Let's see what other people had to say. This is called Non-Biblical Signs of a Christian Bearing Fruit. Do you bear fruit? Perhaps you never thought of yourself as bearing fruit. Biblical contemporaries grew their own foods, tended orchards, and depended on their crops for livelihood. Thus, we have many biblical food illustrations. The fruit is the end product of the planting season. First comes the seed, which is placed strategically into the ground. The seeds of our fruits as a Christian planted throughout our lives. As the water of love, relationship, and experience pours into us, the seed becomes active and begins to grow. When we accept Jesus into our lives, the seed sprouts and the Holy Spirit continues to nurture the seed of our fruit. In Galatians 5:22-23, Paul says, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Chung Lee gave me this verse, and it's the basis of this sermon. Obviously, we don't walk around sprouting fruit from our appendages, but the result of our fruit or action should be as sweet to the recipient and as pleasing to the God as if we gave away scrumptious edible fruit. What the big deal is about bearing fruit as a Christian? What's the big deal? Should it matter to us? It matters to God. He created us to be in relationship with him and to be his hands and feet on earth. The fruit is a sign that we are in a solid relationship with God, and we have chosen to produce fruit that blesses the lives of others and points them to God. If you're not sure what bearing fruit means and what the signs of the fruit in your life are, let's take a closer look. Do you bear fruit? Sign number one is love. One of the first Bible verses we learn as children is God is love, 1 John 48. God loves us. Thus, the seed is planted. A popular description of God's love can be found in Corinthians 1:13. When many people speak of love, they are speaking of an emotion or feeling, but God's love is a choice. Just as he chose to send Jesus to die on the cross for us, we must also choose to love those around us. It doesn't matter if we feel like loving them. God's true Love dictates we should love them because we chose to love them, just as he chose to love us. So even if they're ignorant, even if they're nasty, you should still show them love and then get away from them. Have you ever had a wayward child? Did you just cease loving him or her because of the behavior he engaged in or a wrong choice she made? Of course not. You continue to love him or her because they are your child and you love them no matter what. You made the choice to love him or her just as God loves you. You put your own feelings or choices aside to put another person first. That's God's fruit. Unless you chose to love God, your life may be filled with bitterness and you may be a very lonely person. Others will miss seeing the love of God in you as He intended, and your Christian testimony will lack power because your life does not back up your words. Unless you choose to love God, your life may be filled with bitterness and you may be a very lonely person. Others will miss seeing the love of God in you as He intended, and your Christian testimony will lack power because your life does not back up your words. Once again, your behavior does not back up what come out of your mouth. 2, joy. People sometimes equate joy with happiness. Happiness may be an outward sign of joy, but true joy goes deeper than that. Joy is a matter of the heart. If your joy fruit is based on life circumstances, what happens when things aren't going your way? Your joy vanishes, so you are left fruitless with nothing to share with others. James 1:2 says, count it all joy. All is the key word, the good and the bad. If we trust in God's master plan for our lives, that trust will overcome any circumstances. We will live out Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Without the joy of Jesus, we find it difficult to be joyful in every situation. However, if our joy springs from joy in Jesus, we will weather every storm with a smile. When you encounter someone whose heart is not full of the joy of Jesus, you will recognize that person who is one that is sad and sees the world through negative filters. Their emotions often are out of control, and the lack of joy causes him or her to be unhappy with his or her place in the world. Peace. We come back to the last one was about stability, and here we are again. You don't have to look very far to see that the world we live in is full of turmoil. People observe their surroundings and search for a respite from the chaos and tragedy. Many people equate the word peaceful calmness. True, if you are at peace, you are calm. However, lasting peace comes from within and doesn't depend on circumstances. The fruit of peace comes to us when the Holy Spirit lives in our heart. In John 14:27, Jesus tells us, peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give it to you as the world gives. Don't let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. In other words, regardless of the state of the world, we can feel at peace because the fruit of peace comes from Jesus, not from the world. Inward peace is reflected outwardly and allows us to be ambassadors of Jesus' peace. True peace comes from knowing God is in control. Without that, we feel responsible for things that happen and clamor for answers to our problems. The Spirit just told me that I had put one of these in the freezer. Since this one is lower sugar and it's not sugar free, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start mixing this with some of the other ones to water it down. So let me make the switch. We're actually going to mix this with other ones and water it down. Or I could add water to it. Well, yeah. With that. And because While I'm doing the sermon, I feel the effects of that Gatorade. So let's switch. And then when we get it down to here, we'll add some of the other one and we'll just water that down. So I'll read this again in case y'all forgot. In John 14:27, Jesus tells us, "Peace I leave you with. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Don't let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid." In other words, regardless of the state of the world, we can feel at peace because the fruit of peace comes from Jesus, not from the world. Inward peace is reflected outwardly and allows us to be ambassadors of Jesus' peace. True peace comes from knowing God is in control. Without that, we feel responsible for things that happen and clamor for answers to our problems. 4 is patience. Do you know anyone who is patient all the time? If you do, you probably sense that person is trusting in God. Another word for patience some translations use is long suffering, which means slow to anger or not easily provoked. The fruit of patience is displayed when a person has the Holy Spirit living in his or her heart. The Holy Spirit longs for the opportunity to display the fruit of patience to the world through Christians. Have you ever heard someone say he flies off the handle? Is he or she a witness to the world of God's patience and long suffering? Of course not. A great witness to others would include patience, which would have people ask, how do you deal with that so calmly? Doesn't it just make you want to scream? No believer wants to scream as a response to the behavior of others unless he or she is not filled with the Holy Spirit and the love of God. Without patience, you may find yourself intolerant and impatient, anxious to correct the behaviors of others. That sounds like trolls. Anxious to correct behavior of others, to hide your own imperfections, right? Number 5 is kindness. Probably the second verse you learned in church was Ephesians 4:32. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just in Christ God forgave you. Kindness is important to live in this world as you build relationships. Even toddlers playing with their blocks to their parents say, be kind, as they teach a child how to share their toys. As your children get older, the concept of kindness expands to include being kind, even to those who are not kind to you. Have you ever heard the expression, kill them with kindness? The idea is that even though someone may not be kind to you, if you continue to be kind to them, they will eventually be touched by your kindness. See the benefit and want to be kind like you are. This opens the door for you to share Jesus' love with them. Unless you are kind to others, you will be seen as unkind, unforgiving, and bitter. People are drawn to kindness. So do your best to draw others to you so you in turn can draw them to the Savior. 6, goodness. Goodness is somewhat similar to kindness. However, we may look at goodness as the fruit that encompasses moral goodness and integrity. Goodness, like kindness, is seen on the outside in the behavior of an individual. Goodness reflects the commitment to God and to sharing his love with others. Often we hear someone say God is good, and the response of those around is all the time. This is a true statement. God is indeed good all the time. Unless your life reflects the goodness of God, you may be seen as unkind, bad, unloving, or other negative behaviors, even very selfish. Fill your life with God's words and let his goodness flow from your heart. 7, faithfulness. Most churches regularly sing songs of God's faithfulness, but what is faithfulness as a fruit of the Spirit? The word faithfulness means trusting in something. When we look at faithfulness as a fruit of the Spirit, we apply that trust and believe in God. If we are faithful to Him, we share His love with others and also act in accordance with His principles. Reading God's word is important to faithfulness to Him. Unless we know His precepts, we can't be faithful to them. Unless we possess and practice this fruit of the Spirit, we may feel guilt and not following God's laws. Faithfulness requires us to display characteristics of the other fruits. Trusting in all of the attributes of God allows us to display our faithfulness to Him. If we find ourselves doing otherwise, we can fall prey to the dangers of not displaying God's fruit. Gentleness. Another word for gentleness is meekness. Not a common word in our culture, but one most people understand. Some might regard meekness as a weak attribute. However, gentleness and meekness are both necessary in keeping peace in the body of Christ. Instead of being a sign of weakness, gentleness actually indicates great strength. Jesus spoke of meekness in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5:5. Jesus says, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." God must think meekness is really important to state that the inheritance of the meek is earth. Unless you are gentle or meek, you may find yourself having trouble controlling your emotions and reactions. Someone who is gentle has the opportunity to touch many people's lives by that calm, loving manner. The fruit of gentleness is important and one you should cultivate. Number 9, self-control. The last fruit Paul mentions in Galatians is self-control. For many, that is one of the hardest to let go and let grow. Self-control means you release your own ideas and feelings, even when you think they are better than others. A good example of someone exercising self-control is athletes. They work hard to bring their bodies under certain parameters, even though it may mean hard work, sacrifice, and hours devoted to doing what a coach tells them to do. The way they do this is to keep their eyes focused on the goals they hope to achieve. As believers, our training is to press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ. Philippians 3:14. Unless a believer practices self-control, he will be seen as selfish, pushy, over-assertive, and insensitive to the needs of others. Continue your training for the prize which God has called you. Don't ignore the fruit of self-control. Allow it to equip you to press on and say yes. Practice the needed skills to achieve your calling. We are called to be Christ-like and live as Jesus Christ's ambassadors here on earth. The fruit of the Spirit is the character of Jesus Christ that lives in our hearts. Bearing fruit for the kingdom is just as relevant as today as it was when Jesus spoke about it. And even though we might not think of ourselves as fruit, we need to realize the fruit is the sweet result of our planting, the part that others will recognize. John 15 said, Jesus is the vine and we are the branches. Without staying attached to the vine, we cannot bear fruit. John 15:5 states, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Stay attached to the vine so that you will bear much fruit, thereby showing others our love for God. All righty. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody have any questions or comments? Topic today is about bearing fruit. No comments? All right. Let's see if our video is ready. It's complete. All right. So I sent it. And Hold on. I sent it to go to desktop. I sent it to Action Can Test. Here it is.
All right, y'all, let's get moving.
All right, y'all tell me which view y'all like better.
Hey, Ava J, Nia and Rita, let's roll. Can y'all hear me? Is the music too loud? But that speaker is right next to the, it's right next to it.
So y'all tell me, would y'all rather have this view? Or would y'all rather have this view? Which view would y'all rather have? Which view would y'all rather have? That's a turn signal.
You got put better light. Hey, Bobcat, we out here on Marshall.
Hold on.
Real quick.
Which one? Y'all like this one better? It's not as clear, but allows us to pan around. Which one y'all like better? Well, which one makes you dizzy?
And give us the green light, could you? Couldn't let us get that wee moment, could you? They just couldn't let us have that wee moment.
Yeah. Well, Doug said he don't like this. Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
I think it's clearer. What do y'all think?
Can we keep it going? All right, let's get it. Let's get the weed moment. Let's go. 750 watts. Let's go. Wee! Should have bought me a jacket. It's a little chilly out here, but it feels good. A little chilly. About to get all willy-nilly, because it's kind of chilly. About to get all willy-nilly, because it's kind of chilly. About to get all willy-nilly. Why? Because it's kind of chilly. About to get all willy-nilly. Out here acting like a hillbilly. Like we got to lock it and park it while we go inside and get things from the market. Yeah, I'm going food shopping. That's 9 plus. Bobcat said I wouldn't see you show you up. That's road.
You say you can't see the road.
Whee!
Hey man, let me make it full screen.
We riding on the Passelect GS9 Plus. Our Marsha Brady. Let's get it.
So right now, is that better?
Time for that. It's time. Time for that weed moment. Let's get it. Time to go weed. Let's get it. Wee! I see I've been cloned again. Somebody with no life has cloned us. Somebody with no life. Ought to be ashamed. Can't be themselves. Copying somebody not good for your health. Can somebody get rid of that Clark Brother Dak? Can somebody get rid of that Clark Brother Dak? Who was it? You gotta have that green light. Can't get that green light. Oh, it is green. Oh, Lord, the light is green. Are you serious? Can we make it? Can we make it? Hey. Come on through.
Yep, barely made it. Get to go up the hill with some speed. Charlie says she can't see it. Yeah, I know in this angle it is kind of blurry. Let's switch back.
Y'all want to do the speed test? Even though we got a bunch of groceries. Since we on Marshall, anybody want to do the speed test? Yeah, get that Clary, but we don't need that channel. That Clary over there got it here. Thank you, Avery J. That chump out of here. Somebody want a little attention. I don't understand. I'm a nobody, but they want to clone me. That's the total opposite.
That's the Cool Nicks app from the Play Store.
Oh no. Shucks. The light changes. I can't do nothing about it. Oh, we got commercial. You know you wrong for that. See, trying to do the right thing always hurt. Because we didn't have to do this. And the light green now, so take our time now. You done made us miss the light, so ain't no need in getting worried about it. We ain't missed the light. You know what I mean? And you still gonna do it. Where is it? I was somebody.
All right, so we got our odometer.
So I was small in the game.
Keep an eye on odometer on the phone.
You waiting for the light to change. We can do the speed test. I think it's changing. Let's get it.
All right, let's get it.
Speed test, let's go. Beep, beep.
You doing 21?
Number 3. Speed test. Time for that weed moment. Say wee.
Now watch this, y'all.
Let's get it. You doing 31? No, don't do that shit, no. Don't do that shit, man. Come on. Everybody else out here. Damn. Damn. They're going to idiot run the speed test. Damn. Y'all see that? Damn. Well, we don't know because of that idiot. That's damn shame.
I really don't want to hear myself.
We make it. Hey.
And went too far back.
Out of here.
I want to switch the angle.
The light changes. I can't do that. I was. Here we go. Speed test. Let's go.
Amen.
Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Number 3. Speed test. Time for that weed moment. Say wee. Let's get it.
Look. Y'all see the car right there? Now, it's crossing. Okay, that's not a problem. It's getting out of our way. But watch what it did.
You doing 31? No, don't do that shit, no.
That's the problem. They got the backlights on. They're backing up. They're going to back right into us. That's the problem. They not only cut across, they went about their business. If they'd have went left and went down the road, it'd have been fine too. No, they actually are backing up. Why they didn't just go left? Why did they go in here, come back out? And you notice they are crossing our path. So what I do? I got in the other lane. Now I'm not in that path. But if they still backing up, they in a car. They can yell over here. Ain't nothing I can do about it. If they hit the gas, there's nothing I can do to avoid them. Unless I run into that building. If they come back across, they will cut off every escape. There's no escape route. unless I jump up on the curb and wind up on my head. If they back straight across, because what are they doing? They went over here. Why are they backing out in the middle of the street? Do y'all understand? But by me paying attention, I got the escape route.
Come on. Nobody else out here. Damn.
So let's pause back and see what they did. Can I see? No, I can't see behind my thought. Back on it. I like to know what they were doing, but they put us in danger when they did that. They definitely put me in danger.
Damn. They're going to idiot run the speed test. Damn. Y'all see that? Damn. Well, we don't know because of that idiot. That's damn shame. Always gotta be one person. Not only did he jump out in front, he started backing up. Let that marinate. Not only did he jump in front, he started backing up.
Put our turn signal on. Now it's time for another Wii moment.
I said, whoa there, Nelly. Got something? I said, whoa there, Nelly. That was fun. Might as well leave the turn signal on. Somebody got the mattress out here.
So I wonder, that's how they look on that one. Hold on a sec. I wonder how it would look on the remember now, this is the new camera. Wait a minute. You can go back to action cam. Wait a minute. Let me open it with something else. Let's try it with Windows Media Player. Let's see how it looks. And then we'll go back to that same spot. It looked the same.
That's damn shame.
Yeah, it looked the same. I don't know if it looks better. It might look worse. Hold on a sec. Y'all tell me what y'all think. This is playing it on the Windows Media Player. Is it showing up? Yeah. Oh, just move it out the way, sir. That's all you got to do.
Got something? I said, whoa there, Nelly. That was fun. Might as well leave the time signal on. Somebody got their mattress out here. I said, whoa there, Nelly.
It gives us a bigger view of the road.
Lean into the time. Now gun it. All right, switching.
All right. We got one more video player to test. How does it look on VLC? Excuse me. Oh, heck no. Okay. Okay. We'll work on that. Yeah, it looks kind of blurry if you see it in that format. Now, it's two formats. To have it like that spaced out, and have like two different pictures of front and the back, and you can focus on the one you want, or to be able to spin around, but then it's a little blurry. Anyway, let's see what's going on in the world. Nobody wanted to talk about the sermon. So let's go back. Let's go to YouTube and see what's happening.
The FBI and Chicago police are searching for a suspect after a Hyde Park bank is robbed in broad daylight. This surveillance photo shows the man they're looking for. Investigators say he walked into the Hyde Park bank on East 53rd around 11:30 this morning, told the teller to give him money. He did not show a weapon or imply that he had one. If you recognize this man, police ask that you call.
So he had no weapon, and they didn't put the thing in the bag to make the money explode.
Breaking news tonight of the Gabby Petito case. The remains found at a Florida reserve, positively identified as her fiance, Brian Laundrie. The FBI using dental records to identify Laundrie, considered a person of interest in Gabby Petito's murder. The confirmation bringing an end to an intense 5-week-long manhunt. Our team in Florida with all the new developments. Also breaking, the CDC panel voting unanimously.
All right.
The FBI and Chicago police are searching.
That wasn't my intent, but I didn't mind showing that. That wasn't my intent, though. Matter of fact, do we have any copyrights? We got any new copyrights? People was playing a lot of music. Let's go into the Snazzy Girl just dropped something for us. So we'll go check that out in a second. Do we have any new copyrights? Yes, we do. How many? When the going gets tough, Billy Ocean. Hey, we at the market. There go music company. Damn, Billy Ocean, you sure is hard up. I wasn't playing your song. The market was. But you gonna take my little 20 cents. All right, so we trimming that out. So that's number one. Number two, that's a daggone shame. What's number two? Okay, story, the 15-year-old senior football player killed Cook County Sheriff and man 36 killed doing home. We got copyright for all of them. We can't trim it. So that video is nothing. We can't do nothing. So you already know that's 2. That's 3, 4. All right. What's the copyright on this? Can I fix it? Nope. We went over. Well, how many of them is it? It's just one. Chicago news story. 23-year-old suburban man charged with something. With shooting police officer. Okay. We got nailed for that. Go to 6. Let's take Bessie for a short ride. We got nailed for that. View the options. All right, we trimmed it and we got our monetization back. All right, 7. Select action. We went over 7 hours. So, and we got 2 of them. Chicago, Kim Fox and Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Yeah, you figured it'd be them 2 half days to get us flagged. I can't do nothing about it. How many of them is it? Okay, that's the other one. So it was 2 of them. It was 2 different stories. So now we know we can't use them no more. That's limited. All right. So Snazzy dropped some videos for us. So where are we at? $5.14 is our estimated revenue over the past 28 days. $5.14. $5.14. I say it again. $5.14. All right, Snazzy sent us something. Wait a minute, I gotta go to her hangout. Where is she? Copy link address. And paste and go. Uh-oh. 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 Do a refresh. Oh, man, it's gone. Where'd it go? See.
Puerto Rico beyond frustrated and feeling as if not much has changed since that devastating hurricane 4 years ago. A struggling new power company might be pushing residents to a breaking point. ABC's Victor Oquendo has the details.
Puerto Rico, the island of enchantment. Now the island of the enraged.
Estamos indignados.
y necesitamos una respuesta ya. The U.S. territory in the dark.
Hey, Snazzy.
Deteriorating power grid failing the nearly 3 million residents. A state of emergency declared as thousands of Puerto Ricans march on the streets to shed light on their dire situation, saying enough is enough.
We are protesting the Luma contract. We are protesting the blackouts, but we're also protesting the system that has enabled it, right? We're protesting the Fiscal Control Board. We're protesting budget cuts. We're protesting the lack of quality of life.
In June, a private company, Luma Energy, took over the distribution and transmission of electricity. Luma Energy telling ABC News,
the people of Puerto Rico deserve a better electricity system. It didn't get this way overnight. It got here through decades of underinvestment and mismanagement, and they should demand a better electricity system, and that's what this transformation is all about.
But the situation worsened with surging demands in summer that led to rolling blackouts, sometimes for days at a time, a situation tragically all too familiar.
Nightfall here in Puerto Rico, where 100% of the island is off the power grid.
I want the world to know we need diesel for the generator. We need light. We need water.
The island still reeling from blackouts in the wake of the devastating Category 4 Hurricane Maria in 2017, which left some residents without electricity for up to a year. And in 2020,
a year,
knocking out power again. Right now, there are 300,000 people without drinking water, and the governor doesn't know when power will be restored. With scenes like this, one EMS official says it is like they are reliving the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Today, more than 4 years since Hurricane Maria, the power outages affecting daily life there. Electricity rates in Puerto Rico are higher than almost all 50 states, as the island experiences blackout after blackout.
The grid has been in a state of disrepair for the better part of a decade. You can look at it as unfunded maintenance over a long period of time, and you can look at it as the misuse of the revenues that have come in from the ratepayers over a number of years. You have a combination of a system in disrepair and political mismanagement at the top of the agency, and you have a recipe for a real problem.
And Washington is taking notice.
By every indication, Luma is failing the people of Puerto Rico.
Holding a hearing to demand answers from those in charge.
How many complaints has Luma Energy received regarding voltage fluctuations damaging home appliances?
I don't have that specific number with me.
The committee pointing to the nearly $11 billion grant FEMA distributed to the island after Maria, one of the largest grants in history to rebuild the entire electric system.
How many Luma employees executives earn over $200,000, and how many earn over $500,000?
I think it was asked that question earlier, but
you didn't want to answer, right?
I'm not able to disclose employee salaries.
Yeah.
But as of just last week, the island has only seen $7 million of that grant.
This is a conscious and deliberated choice that decision makers are making every single day. There is absolutely no reason why we should be enduring this.
Another catastrophic storm that has locals like Alexandra feeling as if life in Puerto Rico has become a never-ending struggle for survival and basic rights.
So we kind of need to cut corners around our lives so we can survive in this existence, all the while we're actually investing in something that we have no control over. We have people who are waking up every day exhausted by the conditions that they're being forced to live in, and then exhausted by having to survive the day-to-day of it.
Wow, our Victor Kendo, thank you.
One thing I want to point out. Stop before you get a flag. One thing I want to point out. This is a problem, and it's a problem because Puerto Rico need to make a decision. Are they part of the United States, or do they want to still be separate? That's the problem. They're supposed to be a United States territory, but they still want their independence. I'm asking the question. Either we go in there and make them a U.S. We go in there and make them U.S. citizens. And make them take the United States flag and get rid of their Puerto Rican flag. And we go in there and we make them part of the United States, or they keep sitting out there on the outside. Because, see, you can't be on the outside but claim you want the same rights as if you wasn't on the inside. Now, they gave them a lot of money. And for them to be still doing that, that means they're not managing the money right. Then that means we need to go in there and manage them. Anybody got a point? They can't handle it. Decades and decades and decades. We need to go in there, find out what's going on, and get rid of these incompetent people. FEMA gave them all that money, and they still struggling, and that don't make no sense. Oops.
Tonight, tens of millions of people living in Northern California and the Pacific Northwest are bracing for a blast of what's called a bomb cyclone. It's a supercharged storm powering up in the Pacific and closing in on the coast. It's expected to deliver a river of rain to the region, causing flash flooding, mudslides, and even evacuations. CBS's Lilia Luciano is in Los Angeles and joins us with the latest. Lilia, good evening.
Good evening to you, Jamie. Weather here in California is about to get way more intense. A massive wall of rain is about to hit the northern part of the state, and communities are bracing for mudslides and dangerous flash flooding. The storm system heading to the West Coast is so ferocious, it's known as a bomb cyclone, and it's helping to drive a river of moisture towards Northern California. Massive rainfall and strong winds are on the way. In areas scorched bare by wildfires, flash flooding and mudslides could pose grave danger.
The water flows off instead of soaking in, and it can start picking up pebbles and boulders and the trees, and it can be severely damaging.
Marty Ralph is an expert on weather and water extremes at UC San Diego. On a scale of 1 to 5, he says this system is a 5. In areas like Nevada County hit hard by the river fire, emergency officials are telling residents to be ready to evacuate once again.
If they say evacuations, I'll just get the hell out of Dodge.
In a region exhausted by extreme weather conditions, Ralph says the rain won't end the drought, but it does have an upside.
This will pretty much put an end to the risk of major fires in Northern California for the season.
The storm will also have an upside for skiers, bringing heavy snowfall to the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Mammoth Ski Resort is already on target for its snowiest October in a decade, and now plans to open 2 weeks ahead of schedule. Northern and Central California will get the first soaking. Here in LA, we expect the rain to arrive by Monday.
Hey, Roshan. Well, they got something to look forward to. All right. Okay. All right, this is from Snazzy also. Oops, cancel. That was a mistake. Copy link address. Take it up here. Paste and go.
The sun is entering the most intense phase of its cycle, which means it can cause severe problems on the Earth in the coming few years. These include electrical blackouts, power outages, and disturbances in the communications satellites for months. Most of you might not know the solar cycle and how it affects the space weather, so watch the video until the end. From Earth, the sun appears to be a calm orb of light traveling across the sky. But up close, the sun is the most dynamic place in the entire solar system. The sun is a giant magnet, but it's not that simple. Every 11 years, the sun's magnetic field flips. The north becomes the south, and the south the north. Another 11 years, the poles flip back again. This 11-year cycle is widely known as the solar cycle. As the poles flip, the sun goes through a period of maximum and minimum activity. In 2020, the sun was at a solar minimum when it entered its 25th cycle. Hence, as the sun is waking up from its slumber, it's going to get stormy. Here, the storms are not the thunderstorms that you experience on Earth, but the powerful solar storms that have the strength to make our lives go haywire. The sun will witness an enhanced activity in the coming years until July 2025, which means that the solar storms will be at their peak. But what are these solar storms that are causing us to worry about our internet connection? Also known as coronal mass ejection, or CME. A solar storm is a powerful ejection of charged particles from the sun. These particles can travel several million kilometers per hour and take about 13 hours to 5 days to reach the Earth. Although Earth's atmosphere protects us from these particles, they can overwhelm the Earth's atmosphere if they occur in sufficiently large quantities. The charged particles of the solar storm can produce their magnetic fields. Eventually, they can interact with the Earth's magnetic field, introducing strong electric currents on the surface. This results in modifying the Earth's magnetic field and ultimately affects compass readings and other artificial structures, including the communication channels. But how do we know that solar storms can pose a threat to our communication channels? Do we have any proof of this? Have we seen anything like this earlier? Well, sadly, the answer is yes. The most severe solar storm, known as the Carrington event that occurred in 1859, reached Earth in about 17 hours. It caused the compasses to go haywire globally, terribly affected the telegraph network, and many operators even experienced electric shocks. Moreover, the aurora borealis, or northern lights, a pride of polar regions, were seen in Colombia, which falls near the equator. In 1921, again, a solar storm impacted New York telegraph and railroad systems. By now, you might be thinking if the sun follows this pattern every 11 years, and we've seen such incidents before, then why do we need to worry this time? Well, there's a precise difference between what happened earlier and what could happen in the future. In earlier days, we had limited technology and limited communication channels. They did not entirely drive our life. However, our dependency on technology has skyrocketed in the past decade, and that's why the upcoming cycle is crucial for us. So, very little is known whether our current infrastructure can withstand a powerful solar storm or not. On top of all the speculations, a 2013 report stated that if a solar storm similar to the 1859 one hit the US today, it would leave 20 to 40 million people without power for 1 to 2 years. And the total economic cost will be $0.6 to $2.6 trillion. This is something that makes us worry. As per the new study, the possibility that a massive solar storm would occur within the next decade is 1.6 to 12%. And if such a solar storm hits the Earth, it will have sufficient strength to cause catastrophic disruption. It would cause significant damage to the planet's internet infrastructure and impact power grids throughout the world. However, it would cause severe damage to repeaters used for strengthening signals in long-distance fiber optic cables. At present, we have some understanding of how these storms would impact power systems on land. However, it's even more challenging to predict their impact on undersea cables connecting continents. The internet connectivity has been designed so that if one pathway fails, it can reroute the network, but at the cost of speed. Still, experts feel that most grids could go offline with a massive outage, limiting the internet to create the necessary link. Do you think the world can survive a global internet failure? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you're interested in studying astrophysics at home, make sure to check out our Basics of Astrophysics.
Alrighty, those videos were from Snazzy. All right, let's check in with our buddy Kevin and see what he got.
And I'm gonna tell y'all outside real fast. Put my shoes on. I'm gonna tell y'all outside real fast. So we've been having a lot of rain. See y'all here? So y'all can see my face.
Well, we know he near air base because you keep hearing helicopters and planes go by.
So I'm gonna go over here. See, it's so good out here, y'all. So I'm trying to do it very fast as I can.
Don't show your address. I knew it was a child in the house, and then there's a child on a bicycle. Next time, Kevin, buddy, tell us what we're looking at. Instead of just showing us, tell us what we're seeing. Is that a garden right there? Is that a tarp? Explain to us what happened to the rest of the fence.
So I'm gonna go back in. Take my shoes off. See, I just took my shoes off. Aha. See, in my video, the house tour around number 2. So I can say my video being about this. So y'all see the kitties? So they just laid out sleeping. So I'm doing my video. The house tour around part 2. See, the sky is cloudy as hell outside. Been raining a lot.
Somebody got the Jordan collection.
See the juice on the floor. You see the cast. I'm gonna turn it low. It's a little messy in the kitties. The kitties mess it up. All them junk mail on the floor and everything. And the microwave over here. Stove, everything.
At least he didn't mess with the stove. That's good.
I'll show y'all one more. So in my video, the house tour around part 2. See, water wasn't out in the shower day. It drowned up. It's full of dirty and stuff. Cause our gas here is turned off. See, I'm gonna turn the light out. See me always say they go to the laundry day while washing my clothes.
He got the same washing machine I got. Hey Kevin, we got the same washing machine, buddy.
So I'm washing my clothes, shower there.
Yo, that's the same washing machine that me and Chun Li put together and got. Did you get on one too, Chun Li?
So now I'm gonna go back to my room. I'm gonna be careful. Be careful. See, I said in my video, the house tour around. It's a house tour around. So it's my video, the house tour around, part 2. Part 2, the house tour around.
All right. That was Kevin King. Kevin Joseph King.
An update tonight. Police have arrested a man accused of attacking an 11-year-old girl at a city park. The suspect is identified as 29-year-old Nathaniel Dorenzo. Police say he yelled at the 11-year-old and her classmates in Stuyvesant Park on Wednesday. He's then accused of spraying water on her and trying to attack her. When she tried to fight back, police say Dorenzo grabbed the girl's hair, punched her in the face, and wrapped his hands around her neck. Dorenzo is facing several charges, including strangulation.
Okay, that was 21 hours ago. Okay, you're going to let play.
He has been on the run since January. A man wanted by New York cops who say he shot and killed a young woman in a building in Harlem and then shot and wounded a young man who was with her. All this after an argument. And tonight, New York cops finding that suspect and discovering him because he was doing something that was a minor infraction. The cops say they solved a major cold case. Here's Nadine Dhaliwal.
Do you feel sorry? Musa Cisse had nothing to say as he walked out of the 3-2 precinct, finally in cuffs after 10 months on the run.
Oh, we already saw this. We saw this yesterday.
We're not sure why he was smiling as he's accused of murder and attempted murder. Investigators say back in January, the 19-year-old was in this building on West 150th Street when he got into an argument with a couple, claiming the pair blocked him from entering the elevator. The dispute escalated with the boyfriend punching Cisse in the face. Well, that's when Cisse pulled out a gun, firing shots at the couple. The man survived. The woman, 29-year-old Shadina Smith, was also hit and rushed to the hospital. She did not have a chance succumbing to the gunshots. Police say Cisse did not live in the building, and it's unclear why he was there, but he managed to elude law enforcement for months until today when police got a call about a stolen BMW X5. Earlier today, when officers arrived to this section of Riverside Drive, less than 2 miles from the shooting location, they found Cisse inside that SUV, and he was sleeping. He was taken into custody, and police say his fingerprints linked him to the fatal shooting back in January. Now, this teen is facing a slew of charges for making a split decision that may be life-changing. In Upper Manhattan, Naveen Dhaliwal, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, go ahead and smile. Let the world see how dumb you are. Let the world see how dumb you are. Show everybody your pearly whites. Show everybody how dumb you are. Two hours ago, breaking news.
Look at this video. A car on fire after a crash on Chicago's northwest side. It all started with a carjacking, and then things only got worse. Good evening. I'm Jim Williams. The victim tried to chase the carjackers, and that did not go well. CBS 2's Tim McNicholas tells us about the dangerous and frightening chain of events.
Here's the aftermath of that crash at Palmer and Laramie. You can see an entire car bumper, broken glass in the street, and a block full of frustrated neighbors.
So we just heard that big crash.
14-year-old Jacqueline woke up around 2 in the morning and saw a car on fire in front of her house. Her mom took this video. How did that make you feel?
Kind of scared. It was just right outside your house.
Police say 2 men with a gun forced a 30-year-old man out of his car here at Montana and LeClaire. The victim then got into another car and chased the carjackers for half a mile. The chase ended with multiple crashes on Laramie.
All these cars were damaged. Thankfully, our car wasn't damaged, so it was scary.
CPD says the car on fire was the victim's car that the carjackers stole. After the crash, the carjackers got out and ran. Police say both the victim and the carjackers also hit parked cars on Laramie.
And what makes it more sad is that some of the cars don't have insurance.
The carjacking victim and 2 others in the car with him went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they're still investigating and they're still looking for those 2 carjackers. In Belmont Cragen, Tim McNicholas, CBS 2 News.
You don't have car insurance, but you chasing around a car that don't have insurance and you're hitting other cars. Wow. Somebody make that make sense.
We begin with one family's heartbreak on Long Island. A crash claims the life of a mother who was heading to church with her daughter yesterday afternoon. Now an 18-year-old driver is under arrest. Here's CBS 2's Jennifer McLogan.
A luxury sedan speeding, say police. An 18-year-old behind the wheel, weaving in and out of traffic, broadsided a mother and child inside their vehicle as they backed out of their driveway on Little East Neck Road in Wyandanch. The details are gut-wrenching. So heartless, backing out of the driveway innocently.
Yeah.
Was she taking your niece to school, do you know, or picking her up? Or?
No, we were going to church time.
30-year-old Jennifer Figueroa and her 11-year-old daughter Anahi were rushed to Good Samaritan Hospital. Jennifer did not make it. Distraught loved ones bringing the family food. Across the street, the crumpled cars landed on the Cifuentes lawn. They described panic and chaos.
Gritando con mucho dolor. It was definitely a strong feeling, experience, definitely bad because the girl was also yelling, crying out loud because she was stuck in the car and her mom was unconscious. We just found out.
Yeah, you're right, son. It is sad.
She passed away and that the little girl is still on, I believe she's in coma.
Relatives say Anahi is sedated and hasn't been told her mother died in the crash. Family members keeping a bedside vigil.
My parents are distraught, and I'm just, I'm trying to help them out in any way possible, just getting stuff ready to go to the hospital.
At the family home, a pumpkin on the porch, near Anahi's shoes, a hammock and bicycle. Amid flowers and plants, Jennifer had a green thumb, and Anahi loves school.
It's sad that she's going to be without her mom.
As crews repaired wires downed in the crash, neighbors pleaded for more stop signs.
What a letter to the town to put something in here because car was. It's like they have a problem with speeding.
Yeah, that's really bad. I got 2 kids, so we really scary going the street here.
The suspect, Franklin Charles, is held on $100,000 bond. His family said he's a good person, was driving his brother home from school and taking a shortcut. From Wyandanch, Long Island, Jennifer McLogan, CBS 2 News.
Oh, what the hell?
The search for Brian Laundrie is over, but the search for answers about his death remain. Tonight, the nature reserve where search teams made the grim discovery, now open to the public after being closed for a month.
This tiny little park here in Northport, Florida, who'd have thought that this kind of frenzy would be generated?
Cameras getting a close look at the scene for the first time, seeing how dense the woods are and how wet the area is.
Laundrie's remains were found in this area deep in the reserve that was recently underwater. Much of the reserve is untamed swamp, home to alligators, snakes, and wild pigs.
While the FBI says dental records confirm Laundrie's identity, more information is needed from his remains, which include a portion of a human skull, to determine exactly how the 23-year-old died. After a medical examiner was unable to determine cause of death, the Laundrie family attorney tells NBC News the remains were sent to an anthropologist for further evaluation. The anthropologist specializes in analyzing hard tissues such as bones. Forensic pathologist Dr. Priya Banerjee says investigators will likely use x-rays on the remains, searching for anomalies and fractures or any objects within the bone. But she says determining a cause of death will be a challenge.
I don't envy my colleagues. All the tissues are no longer there. And if there were some sort of trauma, you may not see it. It's like you can't complete a puzzle if you're missing many pieces.
Authorities began a massive manhunt for Laundrie after his fiancée, Gabby Petito, went missing in August. Laundrie named a person of interest in her murder after her remains were found in a Wyoming national park. At Laundrie's parents' home today, a request for privacy.
We're sorry for your loss. Thank you. Katie Beck joins me now. Katie, you're getting a close-up look inside the reserve. How severe are the conditions there?
Well, Jose, the conditions are quite extreme. And while we know Brian Laundrie was an experienced survivalist, the heat here, the wildlife, as well as the flooding, these would be difficult circumstances for anyone to endure over a long period of time. Jose?
Man.
Thanks for watching our.
All right.
We begin with
For
one
anybody
family's
want to
heartbreak
hear
on
something about, it wasn't my intent to play that.
Update on a deadly stabbing on the Lower East Side. 23-year-old Joseph Sandoval is facing murder charges in the death of the man seen here, 51-year-old delivery worker Mia Sala. Police say Sandoval was captured on surveillance video near FDR Park last Saturday. That's when police say he stabbed Sala and stole his e-bike. Sala's relatives say he worked for Grubhub and often worked 10 to 12 hours a day to support his family.
Damn.
Another mass shooting
Hold on.
in Baltimore City. This one leaving 4 teenagers dead. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Max McGee.
And I'm Kelsey Kushner. 7 victims in total from that shooting last night. While all of them are expected to be okay, it shook the West Baltimore neighborhood as investigators search for who pulled the trigger.
So let's bring in Amy Kawada now. She spoke with some neighbors who described that terrifying scene. Amy.
Max and Kelsey, neighbors I spoke with tell me the shooting was definitely concerning, but what's even more concerning is that shootings have become so frequent in the area, they're no longer surprised when it happens so close to home.
4 or 5 shots, just back to back. Pop, 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 pop.
A violent night in West Baltimore.
It's sad and scary, but it's almost like it's a norm.
Something neighbors say happens far too often.
Is this what I'm paying my money for, to live in fear? Because it's frightening.
Just before 10 Friday night, Baltimore police say officers were called to the 3100 block of North Avenue, where they found 7 victims suffering from non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. 3 teenage girls, ages 15, 17, 19, and a 26-year-old woman, along with a 22-year-old man, 36-year-old man, and a 19-year-old man who is in critical condition.
My heart goes out to the people that got shot last night.
A neighbor who did not want to be identified tells WJZ she witnessed part of the aftermath out of her balcony.
And I seen a guy running across the street. I thought he was hiding from somebody. And next thing I know, he fell on the ground.
Detectives say a silver Ford Explorer drove through the block, and the suspect or suspects inside the car opened fire on the victims.
We just will not continue to have people do this to people in our city.
Mayor Brandon Scott on scene moments after the incident, sending a stark message to whoever is responsible for pulling the trigger.
We have some cowards who just think that it's okay to shoot into a crowd of people. Folks that we will find, that we hold accountable.
People who live in the area say something has to change to prevent incidents like this from happening again.
I think it should be more policing, especially at night. Enough is enough, but what can you do?
And again, detectives say a silver Ford Explorer was involved in the drive-by shooting. Anyone with information that could help with this investigation is urged to contact Metro Crime Stoppers or Baltimore Police. Live tonight, I'm Amy Kawada for WJZ.
Another
update on a death.
Let's stay in my city.
That person says that he was looking forward to tonight. It was a chance for him to catch up with friends and really just have an overall good time. All of that, he says, turning scary the moment he heard those shots. The scene has died down a little bit now, but you can see that there is some police tape closing off this area. Again, we know this area known as the Montebello building. There were officers going in and out of the area. Some ambulance was here as well working the scene. Police say they found an 18-year-old man shot near the 2300 block of Argonne Drive. They found him with a shot to his upper body, to his chest specifically. He was taken to the hospital alert and stable. The university tweeted also tonight that the man was a student who has non-life-threatening injuries. Again, the shooting happened just around 7 p.m., a time when lots of people were out celebrating homecoming. And as you can imagine, lots of people walking around campus and traffic being redirected everywhere. Here's now what that person told us about the shooting.
You know, I was just, here partying and just having a good time, as a fellow alumni, and, just hearing gunshots and things like that go off. So who knows what's going on.
And the university has also tweeted that they are offering counseling services to any students who need it tonight. They are also providing updates through the school's alert system as well as through social media. They're asking people to avoid the Montebello complex again as police continue their investigation. We'll have more updates for you guys tonight, but for now, we're live here at Morgan State University. Amy Liu, WBAL TV 11 News.
Alrighty. Argonne Drive. It's Parkside, then it turns into Argonne, then it turns into 39th Street. That was where I was walking that bike the day that I fell out in the market. I literally walked past that location. All right.
New development in the case involving the death of Major Harris. He's a 3-year-old boy whose body was discovered Thursday in Milwaukee after an Amber Alert and extensive search, and days after his mother, Mallory Munzenberger, was also found shot to death. The boy's father now tells 12 News that the medical examiner did not notify him that his son's body had been released to a La Crosse funeral home. So Carlton Harris says he stepped in and took custody of Major's body, and the child will be buried in Madison instead of with his mother in La Crosse.
So being that was done, I wish the Munzenberger family, all my condolences go out to them people because I did love their daughter. But they can worry about burying their daughter and not worry about burying my son.
The Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office confirms that Major Harris's body was transported to a Madison funeral home. Carlton Harris says he will announce details when funeral arrangements are finalized.
That's a day one shame. I'm just pulling these stories up as they come. Philadelphia 4 hours ago, breaking news.
Philadelphia grocery store became a crime scene in an instant today. A man is dead after being shot at close range inside of the store, and it happened in broad daylight. Friday night, Rick is off. I'm Shari Williams. The big story on Action News is this gun violence that erupted inside of a corner store, a man being shot and killed. It's a painful reminder of the work that still needs to be done in the city to stop the senseless bloodshed. Action News reporter Dan Cuellar working the story for us live tonight from police headquarters with the very latest. Dan.
Shari, the trauma and grief are palpable across communities in Philadelphia, with bloodshed seemingly never ending. And at the rate the killings are going, we are on target to surpass last year's record numbers. In the latest homicide, police are calling it an execution-style killing inside Gregory's Grocery at Arch and Parson in West Philadelphia. Police say surveillance video shows a 38-year-old man was in the back of the store playing video games. The footage shows a gunman walk right up behind him and point a gun to the back of his head and fires a single gunshot at point-blank range. The victim falls dead on the ground. The gunman turns and walks out of the store, according to police. A friend of the victim was devastated to hear what happened.
I don't really know. I mean, I just talked to him on the phone. I told him that I loved him. I'm sad, but
she got a deep voice. God darn.
I'll try to get through.
As homicide investigators work to identify and track the gunman, the latest numbers compiled by our data team show that so far this year, Philadelphia has more homicides at 445 than New York City's 382, a city that has almost 7 times more inhabitants.
It's atrocious. It's out of control. And most of all, it shows a lack of leadership.
Councilman at large David O has been keeping tabs on the unrelenting violence, where the weapon of choice is more often than not a handgun. Looking at shooting victims by age, we have already surpassed last year's number of shooting victims under 18 and of those 50 and up. And with just over 2 months left in the year, we're
976 last year
of shooting victims between the ages of 18 and 29. All grim indicators of the toll violence continues to take in communities across Philadelphia. Councilman O says the matter is and has been of such urgency, it requires all hands on deck.
I hope, we will in government, all of us get together on one sheet of music, one mission, and mission number 1, protect the people of this city.
Short of that, Councilman O says what is happening on our streets is a recipe for despair. Entire neighborhoods living as if in a war zone, never knowing when or where the next bullet will come from. Live at police headquarters, I'm Dan Cuellar, Action News at 10 on PHL 17.
Damn, Philadelphia, 976 murders last year, and they on track to do it again. God darn. That's crazy. That's a year ago.
In the city, a dramatic move to stop the gun violence plaguing our streets. A Queens man is busted with an untraceable arsenal of weapons that he was making with parts ordered on the internet. They're called ghost guns. CBS 2 political reporter Marcia Kramer joins us now with the story. Marcia?
Well, Dana, when city politicians talk about the unrelenting wave of gun violence here, they often blame it on the so-called iron pipeline, guns imported here from the South. Now, cops are trying to shut down what they call the polymer pipeline, guns assembled in neighborhoods all around the city with cheap plastic parts that are increasingly blamed as one of the reasons for our gun epidemic.
These are weapons that would have been used and cannot be used now.
Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz
Look at all them
talked
guns.
about a stunning joint operation with the NYPD
God damn.
that resulted in the arrest of a 36-year-old Queens man charged with making guns in the garage of this red brick home in Richmond Hill. Take a look at them, the sheer magnitude of what was being manufactured on this quiet Queens street. There are AR-15s and AK-47 style assault weapons, handguns, pistols, 15,000 rounds of ammunition, plus the machinery to turn the plastic parts into lethal weapons.
If there are guns in the city of New York, we are coming to get them.
Police officials say the manufacture of ghost guns locally is a growing and dangerous trend. Ghost guns, which are untraceable because they have no serial numbers, are increasingly being used in New York City.
We are seeing an increase in the number of shootings, in the number of shots that are fired from guns, and in the number of 911 calls in which a gun is used in a crime. And we're seeing an emergence of these guns being recovered, being ghost guns.
The NYPD says that since January, they have recovered 120 ghost guns that were used in crimes. The parts are also inexpensive, but fetch a good price on the black market here. The basic part, called a lower receiver, costs
around $125 to $150. You then need to buy the additional components to complete the set and build the functioning firearm for another $100 to $300. When they're resold, they are resold at a markup.
One of the assault weapons the defendant was manufacturing in his garage would set you back
$2,000 to $3,000 on the black market.
Melinda Katz says the importance of the arrest is that it helps reduce gun violence.
At the bare minimum, people in New York City deserve to be able to walk their children to school safely, to be able to walk their dogs safely, to know that their grandparents can take a walk in the neighborhood.
Well, the use of ghost guns is a growing and frightening trend around the entire country. Just last week, the LAPD declared ghost guns an epidemic, citing a 400% increase in seizures. Last year, San Francisco said that nearly half of the guns used in homicides there were ghost guns.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, what a concern. Marcia, thank you.
It's amazing with the human brain. It's amazing what the human brain
In the city,
can actually come up with. You're not trying to figure out a cure for cancer. You're not trying to figure out a cure for the COVID-19. You're not trying to find a cure for diabetes or cancer, but you can figure out how to make a gun out of plastic and make it cheaper. Isn't it amazing? How we take things that we could use for good and we use them to make things to kill people. Seriously. Isn't it amazing? Alrighty, y'all. It's 10:30. I'm gonna go finish watching. I watched the SmackDown last night. I'm getting ready to go watch the Rampage. Plus, it's Saturday night, so I know it's probably some UFC or some boxing on around the world. And now I got a smart TV. I can't wait to go see what I can get into. So, alrighty, y'all. Thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the sermon. Chung Lee provided the topic. So I hope that y'all found it interesting. And I will see y'all tomorrow. So y'all have a great night. As Nia would say, see you soon. As I say, hey, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to go ahead and cook and watch me some new TV. Y'all have a great night. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I will see y'all here tomorrow. Peace, everybody.